In July 1947, something fell from the sky near a quiet desert town, and the world has never stopped asking the same question: what really crashed in Roswell? Imagine a rancher walking across his land at dawn, the New Mexico sun barely rising over endless sand and scrub, when he stumbles upon something that does not belong on Earth. Metallic debris scattered across the ground, strange foil-like material that cannot be burned, bent, or cut, beams marked with symbols no one can identify, and a silence in the air that feels heavy, as if the desert itself is holding its breath. That rancher was Mac Brazel, and within days the nearby Roswell Army Airfield issued a press release that would ignite decades of speculation, declaring that they had recovered a flying disc, only to retract the statement hours later and claim it was nothing more than a weather balloon. A weather balloon. Just rubber and foil. Case closed. Except it wasn't closed, not even close. Because why would trained military officials announce the capture of a flying disc if it were merely a balloon? Why would the story change so quickly? Why were armed soldiers suddenly combing through remote ranch land, collecting debris under orders of secrecy? And why, decades later, would witnesses begin to speak of bodies, small, humanoid, not human, recovered from a crash site outside Roswell, New Mexico? The timing could not have been more explosive. It was 1947. The world had just emerged from World War II. The Cold War was beginning. Nuclear weapons had changed everything. Only months earlier, the term flying saucer had entered the public imagination after pilot Kenneth Arnold reported seeing strange objects skipping across the sky like saucers over water. America was on edge, scanning the skies for Soviet threats. Experimental aircraft, anything unknown. So when debris was found in the desert, and the Army mentioned a flying disc, it was like striking a match in a room filled with gasoline fumes. The retraction fueled suspicion. If it was just a balloon, why the confusion? Decades later, the U.S. Air Force would release reports stating that the debris came from Project Mogul, a classified program involving high-altitude balloons designed to detect Soviet nuclear tests. According to this explanation, the unusual materials and secrecy were tied to national security, not extraterrestrials. Project Mogul used radar reflectors made of foil and balsa wood, and because it was classified, personnel in Roswell might not have known exactly what they had recovered. That explanation seems reasonable on the surface. After all, 1947 was a time of secrecy and paranoia. But the Roswell story refuses to die because too many details don't fit neatly into the official narrative. Witnesses claimed the debris had properties unlike anything they had seen, thin as paper yet impossible to tear, lightweight yet incredibly strong. Others spoke of memory metal that would return to its original shape after being crumpled. Skeptics argue these accounts grew more elaborate over time, shaped by decades of UFO culture, science fiction, and conspiracy thinking. But believers ask, how do you explain so many consistent testimonies from military personnel who had nothing to gain and much to lose by speaking out? Then there are the alleged bodies. In the late 1970s and 1980s, researchers like Stanton Friedman revived the Roswell case, interviewing former officers and locals who claimed that more than debris was recovered. They spoke of small bodies transported to military bases, of sealed coffins, of threats and intimidation. The story expanded beyond a crashed object into a full-blown extraterrestrial encounter. Some accounts placed the bodies at Roswell Army Airfield, others suggested they were flown to Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in Ohio. The details varied, but the core claim remained: something not of this world crashed in 1947, and the government covered it up. Critics point out the unreliability of memory over decades. Human recollection is fragile, easily influenced by suggestion and time. In 1947, no newspapers mentioned alien bodies. The initial reports focused on debris, then on a balloon. The alien narrative grew years later, after UFO mythology had taken root in popular culture. Movies, books, and television shows blurred the line between reality and fiction. Could Roswell have evolved from a simple misunderstanding into the foundation of modern UFO legend? Or did the legend grow because there was a truth too shocking to reveal? Consider the context again. The atomic bomb had just demonstrated humanity's power to destroy itself. If an advanced civilization were observing Earth, would that not be the moment to pay attention? Roswell occurred near military facilities tied to nuclear research and weapons. Some theorists suggest that UFO sightings increased around nuclear sites because extraterrestrials were monitoring humanity's technological leap. It sounds like science fiction, but so did splitting the atom once. On the other hand, extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. No confirmed alien artifact has ever been publicly presented. No verified alien body has been displayed. The U.S. Air Force's reports in the 1990s addressed not only the debris but also the alleged bodies, suggesting that witnesses may have misidentified anthropomorphic test dummies dropped in later high-altitude experiments during the 1950s. However, skeptics of the official explanation argue that the timeline does not align. Those dummy drops occurred years after 1947. Was the explanation an attempt to retroactively fill gaps in the narrative? Or was it simply the best reconstruction of events from incomplete memories? The Roswell incident sits at the intersection of fear, secrecy, and imagination. It emerged during a period when technology was advancing faster than public understanding. Radar, rockets, jet aircraft. Many citizens had never seen such things before. A classified balloon array falling from the sky could easily appear alien. But the speed of the military's initial, flying disc, announcement remains puzzling. Was it a misunderstanding fueled by the flying saucer craze sweeping headlines that summer? Or did someone speak too soon, revealing more than they were authorized to say? The desert itself adds to the mystery. Roswell, New Mexico, is vast and open, a place where secrets can disappear into sand and wind. In 1947, it was home to one of the only atomic bomber groups in the world. Security would have been tight. If something truly extraordinary crashed there, that would have been the place to contain it. Over the decades, Roswell transformed from a quiet town into a symbol. Museums, festivals, alien-themed attractions. What was once a ranching community became synonymous with extraterrestrial conspiracy. The cultural impact is undeniable. Roswell shaped how generations think about UFOs and government secrecy. It influenced films, television, and countless books. But cultural impact does not equal truth. It only proves that the question resonates deeply with us. Why does Roswell endure when so many other UFO sightings fade away? Perhaps because it offers a perfect storm. Physical debris, official acknowledgement followed by denial, military involvement, and decades of whispers about hidden bodies. It is a mystery with just enough documented history to feel real, and just enough ambiguity to remain unsolved. In recent years, the U.S. government has acknowledged unidentified aerial phenomena, releasing reports and videos that confirm objects in the sky sometimes defy easy explanation. This modern transparency gives new life to old cases. If unknown craft are being observed today, could Roswell have been an early encounter? Or does linking the two only reflect our desire for a continuous narrative? At its core, the Roswell story is about trust. Do you trust the initial statement or the retraction? Do you trust decades later testimonies or official reports written by the same institution accused of a cover-up? The evidence available to the public remains inconclusive. Fragments of metal were sent to laboratories and reportedly identified as mundane materials. Photographs from 1947 show officers posing with debris that appears consistent with balloon components. Yet photographs can be staged, and classified materials can resemble ordinary ones to the untrained eye. The absence of definitive proof fuels both skepticism and belief. If alien technology were recovered, would the government reveal it? Some argue no, citing national security and potential panic. Others argue that in the age of leaks and global media, such a secret could not be kept for nearly 80 years without irrefutable evidence surfacing. And so Roswell remains suspended between possibility and myth. A rancher's discovery in the desert. A press release that said too much. A swift correction. Whispers of bodies. Reports of secret projects. Generations of investigators chasing fragments of truth scattered like debris across time. What really crashed in 1947? A top-secret surveillance balloon designed to listen for Soviet nuclear tests? A misidentified cluster of mundane materials amplified by media frenzy? Or a craft from somewhere beyond our planet, its technology studied in hidden facilities, its existence denied to protect a fragile world not ready for the truth? The desert keeps its secrets well. The official files offer explanations but not certainty. The witnesses tell stories but not proof. And somewhere between skepticism and wonder lies the enduring power of Roswell. A reminder that sometimes the most compelling mysteries are not the ones we solve, but the ones that continue to challenge what we believe is possible.